Carlos. What have you seen out of him, especially in today's practice, and then what are you hoping to see from him in the preseason?
I just think you're seeing a young man that's continuing to get comfortable with the NFL game. Coming from New Hampshire, then SELA, then to the NFL, it's much different. You know, no different than any rookie. I don't care where you come from. So I think he's just continuing to get more and more confident, more and more comfortable. He's extremely smart, works hard, and it's a great group of guys that all kind of work together to help learn this new offense. So it's been encouraging what we saw. There's a lot that we need to get better at, but the steps that we've taken up to this point to get where he's at, I think everyone's pretty happy with it.
He said he left some meat on the bone last preseason, and he's hoping to kind of up his. What are you hoping to see from him in the preseason?
Take a deep breath and go have fun. It's just football. And that's what I think he had to realize, again, going from New Hampshire to SELA to, the Dolphins down there when we played, that was game one. I think he was, oh man, the moment, the state, it doesn't matter, it's just football. And I think he's starting to realize he deserves to be here. He's worked his butt off to be here. Now just go relax and play football.
Is Carlos kind of the front runner right now for that third running back spot?
I don't think there's a front runner, to be honest with you, because it's too early. We haven't played real football yet. That's why this week's going to be really big for Avery, Carlos, Jace, Bijan, Tyler, all that whole group. We're a young group, so every opportunity we get to go out there and compete against somebody else is big, because those are all banked reps that we need, because we don't have a ton of reps on Sundays within that room collectively.
You said competing against somebody else. What's the benefit of a joint practice?
You get to hit somebody in a different color jersey, so you can let loose a little bit more, and the energy level is going to pick up a little bit, and change the scenery as well, get out of Flowery Branch for a few days. And so I think it's going to be great. It's going to be great for all of us to get down there, new staff, new everyone, kind of going through that process together to see what it looks like. But for the guys, I think they're just happy to go hit somebody besides their friends and teammates in the locker room.
What encourages you about the way that Tyler Algier has worked so far in camp?
He's consistent. I mean, that's really how he lives his life. He's consistent in everything that he does. His preparation, physically and mentally, has a smile on his face every day, doesn't complain, great teammate, leads in his own way. And as a coach, you really appreciate that, because when you know the guy's going to show up every day, it makes your job a little bit easier. And then him being one of the older guys in the room, you can use him as an example of how to be a true pro and what it means to be a pro, and truly share the responsibility within the room as well.
I think I've asked you this in the past, but the way that Tyler and Bijan work with each other and off of each other is really cool to watch. I'm just curious what it's like from your perspective.
Amazing. It really is, because they're really good young men. They get along. They love to compete with each other, but at the same time, because their skill sets are different, they'll take a little bit from each other's game to try to help each other. And then it's really cool as a coach, you step away and you kind of watch them have conversation. Hey, what'd you see here? What do you think? Should I hit that one? And that's really cool, because those guys are now truly becoming that bond and that relationship that you want to see, that's going to allow us and give us a chance to be a great running back room and a great offense.
It seems like they've gone really close and become sort of, the best friend you could have on a team. I'm curious, when did you start to see that develop last season, or has it always been like that?
No, I think, really Ty saw probably the same issues that he went through as a rookie. You probably saw B going through it last year. And so, again, him just being a great young man, he found the opportunity to be able to take B under his wings a little bit and try to help him, even though Bijan was touching the ball more, because that's just the selflessness that Tyler has within him. And I think that, in knowing Bijan, he appreciated that, and so that naturally creates a relationship there. And then, those guys, again, we depended on those guys a lot last year, and then there were some ups and some downs, but I think those guys stayed together and knew that, hey, at some point we're going to get through this, and they were a big part of us getting through that.
You mentioned snap share a few minutes ago. With the way that the new staff has been maybe trying to rotate things, is there anything that you see that might change from the way that they alternate snaps last year at all?
It's a hypothetical question, so I don't love answering those, but I would say this: we're going to do what's best for the Atlanta Falcons and give us a chance to win on Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, whenever we're playing. So it's hard to say, hey, this guy's going to touch the ball this many times. I think what we do know is that we have two guys that we look at as starting caliber running backs in the NFL, and that's a good problem for us to have. And so we'll continue to strategically with Zach and our offensive staff find the ways, and hey, this is how we're going to use those guys. But like I said, both of them, I would say, hey, they're going to help us win football games when it comes that time.
You had a moment on the sideline. I could kind of discern it talking to Tyler. I think it was, you were explaining something about a single eye coverage. I couldn't really hear, but just take me inside that coaching moment. What was that like?
Yeah, so, with Raw, we have those monitors out here, which are awesome because now you can coach it right away. So guys, what'd you think? Well, now we can turn and see it. And so our defense has been doing some really good things. And I'm not going to get into too much detail with it because I don't want to say too much. But we're talking about, hey, if they show us this with this certain look, we need to make sure our eyes get in a certain spot. And he's like, yep, you're right, that's on me. And that's just us holding each other accountable. He holds me accountable as a coach, and conversely, I hold him accountable as a player. But that's the relationship that we have in our room, because all we're trying to do is get better, everyone collectively.
And staying with the technology aspect where, Raw added the screens, Kirk and Penix are wearing the GoPros, like stuff like that. How has that helped you guys or just the team in general, really taking all these technological advancements and using them positively in a coaching way?
Well, again, talk about the screens. The GoPro is awesome because it has the audio. And so we can go in there and we can listen to any adjustments that Kirk or Mike or any of the quarterbacks are making. So, sometimes, hey, the game's playing fast. And it's like, hey, well, what call did you get? It's like, you know what, let me rewind it, boom. And then we can hear the call. It's like, hell, yep, I thought I heard that. That's why I did this, coach. And so just another way to confirm kind of what those guys are telling you. And not that we don't trust them, but, hey, it's like even better because now, hey, this is what the quarterback's saying. This is what now we have to do. And so it's been a really, really cool tool to be able to use as a coach and as a teacher, ultimately.
What are you specifically looking for and watching for in these preseason games?
It's a good question because there's a lot. But I would say there's a couple things. Ball security, eye discipline in the run game, and keeping the quarterback upright. Those would probably be the three things. If we can do those things, I think we're continuing to trend in the right direction as a room.
Will all the running backs play this weekend?
That's a great question for Raw.
He did talk to us today, so.
I can't talk to him. That's a great question for Raw.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, so you got a little bit of run with the ones today. What's that like?
It's always amazing running with the ones. Just continuing to get those reps, and you get so many mental reps. So when you get in there, you got to make it count.
Obviously, you guys are getting ready to go down to Miami. How exciting is it just to go up against somebody else?
Oh, it's very exciting. We've basically been waiting on this for, I wouldn't say a whole year now, but more than a few months. And we've been going against each other, but you got to protect the team at all times. So it's going to be good going against a new face.
What's the biggest thing you want to learn when you're down there in Miami about this team? Or start to learn, really?
Start to learn. I feel like I've been learning a lot about the team, but I guess just to continue to learn, that team chemistry, team camaraderie. Because now we get to showcase that against another team now. So it's just a test of all tests.
What have you learned?
One day at a time. Patience, communication is key, and trust. If you don't have trust out there, then we're not doing anything.
You've told us a little bit about just going up against somebody else, but tell us the benefits of a joint practice.
Oh, there are many benefits. You getting game-like reps. Obviously, it's practice, but you're still getting game-like reps. Like I said, you're going against a different face. There's no scouting going into it, so you're really going into it blind, and you just have to read and react and trust your fundamentals, trust your craft.
Carlos, in this scheme, you talk about how it can be so good for quarterbacks, receivers. What's it like for a running back, especially one like you who's gone from the previous regime scheme to this one?
Yes, sir. For versatile backs, it's amazing. You get to catch the ball out of the backfield, you get to run the ball, you get to block. You get to really show all phases of the game if you're a complete back.
What are you hoping to show in the preseason?
Just more so than improvement from last year. I feel like last preseason I left some meat on the bone. So just going into it with an open mind, trusting myself, trusting my craft, and going to leave it all out there and don't question myself this time.
Why are these joint practices so exciting? You said we've been waiting almost a year for it. What is it about it that you guys kind of just are looking forward to so much?
Yeah, Honestly, just the physicality of it, to be honest. You can't be that much physical with your teammates, but with another guy, you could be a little bit more physical. Still got to protect them because, it's not a full-out game, but you're going into it with a game-like mindset.
This is a team that obviously has, Bijan and Tyler, but do you feel like you've kind of solidified your role right now at this point?
Honestly, that's up to the coaches, that's up to the staff. I just got to continue trusting myself, trusting my craft, and know that as I continue to put my best foot forward, I'm going to just try to make it undeniable.
What's the strength of this running back group?
I think I said it once, just versatility. We got guys that can catch the ball, run the ball, block. Anywhere we need it on the field, we can make it happen.
I've seen Kirk a couple of times, whether it's a good throw. I don't really see this, obviously, when it gets picked off, but he's really excited. He's really animated. What does that do when you have your quarterback that's like that?
Oh, man, it's awesome having an enthusiastic quarterback like that. It just brings so much life into the offense, so much confidence. He's a seasoned vet. He knows what he's doing out there. So just, soak up all the information he gives us and just try to give our all to him on the field because we know we're getting that from him.
What's the energy like in the running back room? I know there's a lot of different personalities in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of different personalities, but everything blends well. Like I said, we're all us individually, but as a room, we all get along very well. We joke here and there, but when it's time to go to work and get the business, we do that too.
Having been through this before, what was more beneficial, the practices against another team or the actual game itself? Which one do you kind of take away more from?
Both, honestly. Like I said, you can never get too many reps. So still in those game-like reps in practice, that's always huge. And then, honestly, you just try to take your momentum from practice, carry over to the game so that there's no takeoff from either one. Just got to stay even keel.
I'm curious, you've worked with Michael Pitre a lot. Is it different having a lefty throw to you? Like, do you have to kind of adjust things in your mind?
Yes, it's a little different. He's a lefty, so the ball is coming with a little bit more velocity, but just got to focus in and really just focus, honestly, because the ball does seem to come a little quicker, but just got to focus and trust yourself.
Have you ever worked with a lefty QB before?
One time in my life. And it was a little different at first, but that's why I'm not too much surprised with Mike because I've had it before.
Yeah.
Yes. There's so much new around you. What's the value in having that same leader at the top?
For sure. You talking about as far as Kirk?
No, it's as far as having that structure within the room with you, Algier, and then
right.
That whole round.
Yeah. And it's huge. Obviously, in the room we have B, Ty, and Abe, who's gotten those game-like reps. So just constantly getting advice from those guys and learning from them out here on the field. Just trying to soak up everything I can so that when my time comes, I'm ready.
Are there any differences that you've noticed in your ability to study as a running back, getting mental reps and watching Lindstrom's angle versus watching Matthews or any of the other guys to where you go, you're not going, but you're watching on film and seeing out there, this is where I think I should make my turn.
Right.
Talk about how that's evolved for you to make you a better ball player.
For sure. Because like you said, I haven't been used to getting reps with those guys. So the more I study them, and then once I get out there, it happens a little quicker. But that just goes on you trusting your instincts, trusting your fundamentals, because we know that they're going to get their job done. So it's on us to get our job done.
Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for. Are you looking at the defender to try to fake him out first, or are you looking at the lineman first? Is it a combination?
Always looking at always looking at the defender first, because that's how I can help out my lineman if need be, as far as setting up a block or getting them, pushing them a little bit more wide to get them latched onto that block. So it's a little give and take. I'm looking at the defender, but I'm also reading my lineman to know how I can help him out in order to help him do his job.
Carlos, you've caught, I know the sample size is small, but you've caught a few passes from Kirk Cousins at this point. Where would you say Kirk ranks among the quarterbacks who have thrown you passes?
Number one, I mean, with Kirk, to me, there's no bad ball. He's always going to put it in position to play. It's just on you to make the play.
Had a hell of a pass to you on that wheel route.
Most definitely. And like I said, he put it out there, so it's on me to go get it.
Hey, JD, how you doing today?
Doing well.
All right. What are you hoping to get out of the joint practices? What have they been telling you? I know you're a rookie and all, but first joint practice for you, hoping to get out of the work down there.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I haven't really heard about the rep count or how that's going to work yet, but I think the most exciting thing is we've been going against the same offense for the past OTAs plus 2 weeks or so, and so to be able to get some new looks and be able to kind of hash out the details of our defense and be able to really kind of experience a new offense and go against that.
And they went to the playoffs last year, pretty good team. Is that a part of it that, hey, we're going to see some competition too from one of the AFC playoff teams?
Yeah, that's definitely what you want. I mean, any joint practice, you want to come out there and kind of make your name known and be able to come together as a team. And this is kind of the first time where, I guess in a way, you can cheer, like you're really cheering for your offense and you're really cheering for your defense, and so you're excited for each other. And so it really brings, I think, where at least I haven't been, so it will bring that team camaraderie.
What's the learning curve been so far for you? Sorry. What's the learning curve been so far for you now through 8 OTAs and now in a couple weeks into camp?
Yeah, I think for me, I've talked about kind of the word that describes my camp as productive. I think I was thankful to come from Notre Dame where I had 3 different defensive coordinators, and my last defensive coordinator came from the Bengals, and so we ran a lot of similar concepts and stuff. So I feel like I've seen a lot of the defenses that we're running, but it's still a matter of the NFL runs a different style of offenses than college, and so trying to learn to adapt to those and be ready for the different motions and checks and those kinds of things.
JD, how much is there interchangeable between the linebackers? Are you locked into one spot, or are you playing all across the board in all the linebacker spots?
Yeah, I've been a little bit all across the board. I've kind of been a plug and play with whoever I'm in there with right now. I've just been able to kind of pick it up and just go whatever spot that they're not playing.
What have you learned from this group of linebackers? Because there's a lot of knowledge in that room, obviously.
Yeah, it's funny. I've gotten asked that question, and we don't have like a super old head, I guess you could say. We have Caden as our oldest guy, but then we also have some guys that would be viewed as some younger guys, and so it's actually been really helpful for me, I think, because they've been able to come out to their practices and to come out to our practices and been like, hey, like, my first joint practice was only 2 years ago. Like, here's kind of what I had to expect. And so they kind of have those same feelings and nerves or anxiety that you might have at being a first year and not knowing what's to come, I guess. And so that kind of things that side of things has really helped me.
When you don't have a quote unquote, to use your words, old head in the room, who do you really rely on when it comes to learning? You're a rookie and you're obviously taking in a ton of information.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Caden's technically pretty old. I guess you'd say he's 6-7 year, like I think he's 27 or 28, 2 kids, so he is on the older side, but so he helps. And then obviously the younger guys, I think they've all played in different ways, and they've gone through injuries and gone through Caden's been on different teams and stuff, and so there's a large knowledge of, like, there's a large just, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess there's just a lot of things to learn from them.
Okay, so you said that your camp's been really productive. What have you wanted to show the coaches so far in camp? We've still got a little ways to go here.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that I belong on this field and that I can help them make plays, and I feel like I've been doing a good job at that. And then also on the special teams side of things, just to be able to show that I can be a playmaker and I can be their guy at special teams.
Caden was a guy who came in as, like, you know, a late round draft pick and fought his way to make it in the league. I'm wondering if you've, like, learned anything from that side of, like, you know, showing that you belong.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if I've talked as much with him about this particular late round draft pick. I think a lot of the people that I've talked to going through the process has been like, hey, once you're there, you're in there and your foot's in the door, and so go make plays and the rest of it will take care of itself.
We were talking to Kirk last week and he was telling us that some of the
I knew.
You knew this was coming.
I knew this one was coming.
So I'm not going to ask you to give us like an excerpt or anything, but can you tell us a little bit about this rookie veteran situation with the PowerPoint presentations and what yours was about?
Yeah, okay. Essentially, we had conspiracy theories that the linebacker room got really kind of interested in, and so when we left from OTAs for camp, they asked me to do a presentation on a conspiracy theory, and so I ended up presenting it, and I just tried to make it funny, and I think it was pretty funny and guys enjoyed it.
What was the conspiracy theory? Can you tell us?
I'm good.
So clearly it resonated with the team because you were the name that a lot of people thought up that was really good. I mean, do you get people walking around here like, hey, great conspiracy theory, man?
I think Kirk really fell in love with it above everyone else. But Kirk and Caden's already assigned me to another one, so I'm putting that Notre Dame degree to use.
So
you're in charge of
this.
It.
Yeah.
Does he give you what it is and you just have to present it like it's true, or do you come up with your own?
Yeah, I don't pick a side. I just present the facts of a conspiracy theory, and at that point,
kind of they pick one and I present it, and it actually takes a little bit of time. It feels like a school project all over again.
Are you the only rookie doing this, or are the guys doing
I think the
it too?
tight ends have gotten into one now, and so the tight ends have made their rookie do one.
So is it just conspiracies, or are y'all doing PowerPoints on anything?
It's been conspiracy theories up to this point.
Has it sunk in yet that next time around this field you will have a NFL preseason game under your belt?
Not really. I don't think I've thought about that yet. I think I've really just been like, hey, what's the focus? And the focus is on Miami and prepping everything for Miami.
What are you most looking forward to in these joint practices? I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. Just what are you kind of most excited about?
Yeah, I think just to be able to be physical and be able to get after another team and be able to thud up some running backs. And honestly, like, you go 2 weeks against your own team, like, you kind of get tired of it. You're ready to hit some new guys and stuff. So I think that would be the biggest thing.
J.D., how's the tempo compare, say, Notre Dame last year in practice, maybe in camp last year for Notre Dame this year? What have been the biggest differences?
Yeah, I think the coolest thing for me is I've been able to go against the ones, and so the offensive line, I've been able to go against Kirk, Bijan, and so I think the biggest thing has been, one, Kirk's ability just to put the ball anywhere and everywhere, and then the second thing would be the offensive line, just their ability to. They're so much better than college. I think college you kind of have some really good players, but you might have 2 or 3 weak links on the offensive line, versus here it's completely different. They know where to put their hands, they know where their steps need to be, so that they're able to climb so much faster.
There was a moment a couple practices ago, and I don't know if you remember it, but I remember seeing you saw something on the other side and you were communicating to line and everyone's kind of shifted over. Do you remember that moment, and what do you?
Oh gosh, I don't completely remember, but just being linebacker,
Yeah.
you kind of have a more bird's eye view, a little wider view than the guys up front. So you're always talking to them and talking with the secondary and back end guys, and so it's just always constant communication at my position.
How much thinking is there right now with what you're trying to do? I mean, you're a rookie trying to get involved in everything else. As far as like playing clear, playing loose, like what's your confidence on there?
Yeah, I think I have a lot of confidence from that side of things. I think I put a lot of time in during OTAs, and even those 6 weeks when I was at home, I was trying to touch the playbook every single day so that I could come out here and just play fast, because I know if I'm not thinking, I'll be able to play fast, and so that's always been my main focus.
And learning all this stuff and with everything in training camp, how have they added the screens? I know they have the GoPros, which I don't know if you guys watch that much. How has kind of those technological advancements per se helped you kind of when you're out on the field?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know if I've used the GoPros very much, but I think the nice thing being in the NFL versus college is that now there's so much more meeting times, and so you can really dig into the little details of each play and how we want to fit different runs, how we want to fit against screens and those kind of things.
Do you like the video boards, being there? You can see the replays in real time.
Yeah, it's cool, but I think so many times I'm just on to the next play, and so trying to think pre-snap, hey, who's going to motion, what's going to happen next.
Speaking about going against the ones, from a linebacker's perspective, what's the feeling when you got to make a play on Bijan in open space?
I think you got to treat it like, obviously Bijan's crazy good running back. We talk about him in our room and how we don't think there's many other running backs just as good as him, and I think you still got to take the same philosophy as you always do versus any other running back and treat him with respect in open space and just be able to close to that near hip.
How was the practice on Friday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium? Did you get anything kind of out of that aside from what you would get in practice?
I think there was a lot of energy there, and I think one cool thing that's not even related to the Falcons, but I played my last senior game there, and so of high school, and so that was really kind of just cool and be able to have my parents in the stands and family in the stands.
Most players at the high school level, maybe their junior or senior year, they have that magic moment where they think they can make it to the next level, and they do. What was your moment maybe at Notre Dame where you said, I think I can do this, I can get drafted, I can play on Sundays and fulfill a dream? Was there a
That's a good question.
specific moment that you had, or was it just a general feeling? I think I can.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for me, I've always kind of just had that belief, and I always just thought, for some reason I was going to make it there. And I knew that, hey, even though I wasn't playing my freshman year, even though I was barely playing my sophomore year, as long as I kept on putting in the work and as long as I kept doing that, I was going to end up seeing the results. And I think the biggest thing for me is that if I didn't end up seeing those results, and the results being the NFL, then I would have known that I put 100% in, and I would have been upset, but I would have been satisfied because I would have put my 100% effort into it.
Preseason is kind of like a showcase. What are you looking for to showcase, not just physically but mentally as well as a linebacker?
Yeah, I think I've already kind of started looking at just Miami's film from last year and just kind of get an idea of who they are from an offense so that I can be able to make more plays, and at the end of the day, just be able to help put our guys in position and be able to play the game within our defense and be able to just make plays.
It's a star-studded offense over Miami. Is there anybody you're looking forward to hitting most of all?
No, I mean, I think one cool thing is we have a Notre Dame guy, Liam Eichenberg, and so he used to be, when I was on scout team, believe it or not, he was who I was going against, so it would be pretty kind of cool just to be able to go up against him again.